Back now on this Transformation Tuesday with a woman who found the courage to leave her full-time magazine career, and she started from scratch.
It's a decision that paid off for Marie Forleo, and now she inspires millions of people around the world to change their lives. You're going to meet her in a moment. First, let's take a look at her story.
She is an author, businesswoman, and extremely successful life coach.
Hey, it's Marie Forleo, and you are watching Marie TV.
Oprah Winfrey called Marie Forleo a thought leader for the next generation.
Millions of young women look to Marie as their inspiration.
20 years ago, Marie quit her 9-to-5 job and started a life coaching business from the ground up, all while doing a number of odd jobs to support herself. Now at 43, Marie's multi-million-dollar business is thriving. She has a web show, podcast, and best-selling book through which she hopes to provide people with the tools to dream big and create results.
This isn't a pipe dream. This is the new reality of modern business.
Her new book, titled Everything is Figure-Outable, is named after the advice from her mom that changed her life and gave her the foundation to her success. We are so excited to have Marie Forleo with us. She is, again, the author of Everything is Figure-Outable. Welcome.
Thank you.
What a great week for you, a great book launch. And is the title true?
The title is true. Yes,
us.
that is the case that I'm making for the world. So I really do believe in my heart and my bones that everything is figure-outable. And this idea really came from my mom, who's such an interesting character. One of her most prized possessions as a kid was this little Tropicana orange radio that she got from Tropicana Orange Juice for free. It was shaped like an orange. It had this red and white straw at the side. And my mom is one of those people who's always busy. So she was always doing something around the house. One day I come home and I find her perched on the roof of our 2-story house. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing up there? She's like, oh, we've just got a leak in the roof. I called the roofer. He said it's going to be $500. I said, screw that. I'm going to fix it myself. I come home another day. She's retiling the bathroom. Now, you got to get, this is the 80s. My mom
No internet.
No internet, no Google. My mom's high school educated. I always knew I could find her by listening for the sound of this radio. So one day I come home, silence. I get that pit in my stomach. Something's wrong. For an Italian-American home, when there's no sound, something's off. I go in the house, hear nothing, and then I hear something going on in the kitchen. Clicks and clacks. I see my mom hunched over the kitchen table. It looked like an operating room. Screwdrivers, electrical tape, and like a dozen pieces, her little Tropicana orange dismantled. I was like, oh, Mom, are you okay? She's like, Ree, no big deal. And I finally asked her the question I always wanted to ask. How do you know how to do so many things that you've never done before, but nobody's showing you how to do it? And she said, nothing in life is that complicated. If you roll up your sleeves, get in there, and do it. Everything is figure-outable.
Everything is figure-outable.
And how has that changed the course of your life?
I mean, everything from when I was young and in high school, getting out of a physically abusive and toxic relationship, every job I've ever had, to getting myself out of piles of debt, to launching a business at 23 and having it grow into a global brand. I mean, every single aspect of my life, still to this day, I use that phrase every time to solve little things like a leaky faucet that just happened 2 days ago in my apartment, to big things like saving my relationship from going out the door.
Well, it's interesting because I think a lot of people will find themselves in debt. They've lost a job, they don't know, and they feel despair. And I don't know, like, sometimes you can't find that all you need is a way out. But how do you even start if you're at home watching this saying, I don't know what to do in my situation?
So I think that there's 3 simple things that we can all do, and this really helps me every day. So the first thing is you want to say it out loud. Say everything is figure-outable. Now, the reason why, you train your brain to think more creatively and focus on solutions rather than problems. So instantly you shift your mindset. 2, I always like to tell people, take a breath and touch your heart. You reduce the cortisol level that you're feeling, which stress inhibits your ability to think clearly. And then you tune into your intuition. I think we all have so much innate wisdom in ourselves, but we're trained to look outside for the answers. And when you just take a moment, you'll hear something. It might be, call your best friend. Send an email, go for a walk around the block. Something will instruct you on that next step, and then take an action step. Again, it might be to call someone, it might be to reach out, it might be to just sit and meditate for 5 minutes.
You've also said to break down big challenges into small pieces.
Yes.
That's the best way to start.
Best way to start. And a great example of this is a woman who actually watched my Oprah talk named Jen. She loved the idea. Her and her mom watched it together, but then everything changed. and her mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And suddenly, nothing seemed figure-outable. But Jen said when she took a step back and broke down the big problem into smaller pieces, it was. She could figure out how to find nursing care for her mom, who lived in a rural area. She could find foods that she could tolerate, and this was the most important. This breaks my heart and it inspires me. She could find medical equipment so her beautiful mom could spend her last days, and in fact, her last 5 weeks where she wanted to be, which was in her home. So Jen told us, yes, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that everything is figure-outable, and this phrase helped me find it.
Well, if your book is half as good as your Super Soul Sunday Talk, it's going to be a runaway. So we want to thank you for coming to see us.
Thank you for having me on.
Again, Marie's book is called Everything is Figure-Outable. You can get it at today.com/.